Something's happening. The question is it any good? We'll see if anybody joins us. Oh, I have to keep talking and keeping people entertained. So I'll just talk about what's going on here. We have had a little bit of snow overnight. I think I did a lovely job of showing people how to shovel a walk and sweep off a mini truck. My big truck, I just have to extend the pole out there on my snow brush. Which I got the kind of like a squeegee on it, which is fantastic. It clears the water off the windows too, because they tend to once the truck warms up, you need things cleared off so it doesn't dry with spots, which tend to be full of salt and sand and other suspended sediment. When they dry, they sort of leave like a film on everything. There's sodium chloride, but they mix it with some other chemicals as well with the road salt. I forget what it is, and they also brine the roads now too in anticipation of bad weather. It helps avoid adhesion of ice and black ice formation, but it's also terrible for rust on our vehicles. So I don't think they call this the Rust Belt because it's the U.S. that uses belt to describe things, but we're right in that same area where road salt is used. Out west, they tend to use grit, and up north they tend to use grit. A lot of that has to do with the temperature of what actually works and what functions. So I don't know if anybody's come to watch this. I can't see the chat like I could before, but that may be because I was setting wrong. Yes, okay. I don't know if I'm connected. I think somebody showed up. I think Commander 401 showed up. So welcome, Commander. And if anybody else has come from the other stream where things like died, thank you for coming. And if you don't know this is happening, that's my fault because I'm bad at doing this. I just don't know what I'm doing, basically. So, yeah, I gotta like see what the best way to get to this place is. I found the best way. Oh, the tiny captain has navigated their way over here. It's no surprise that a trucker and a ship captain have made their way here. And Aunt Jur, who is an expert in many things. I think that Aunt Jur can let us know if this is true. But I think Aunt Jur is a cunning linguist who knows a lot about the English language and sort of being like a grammar, a knowledgeable grammar, syntax, and language use person. But I don't know what else Aunt Jur is awesome at. But I know I got a lot of great input from Aunt Jur, and Aunt Jur points out when people have things wrong linguistically sometimes, and I think it's always intended in a positive light. So it's not like those people, like the former German Socialist Workers' Party grammar people. It's not like that. It's just like a kind word of encouragement to get things right. And I see Aunt Jur's commenting, but I can't read the comment because that's the problem with driving. I can't see what's going on. I just get a chance to glance down and see the names as they come up. And as I said, I will not put my safety or anyone else's in jeopardy for this. So I was talking about like the way roads are treated around here, and there's an interesting channel I follow. I started following it. I didn't realize it was going to be so little use to me in the grand scheme of things at first, because the guy does a lovely job. But he's a commercial driver instructor and regular four-wheeled passenger instructor, but his business is focused on helping people get their license for the first time in a passenger vehicle. But he does review some commercial vehicle stuff. So I followed him when I was first getting my commercial license, and I followed him again when I was upgrading to my full unfettered A license, they call it here. He's had some great comments on there, and what I found is that I'm able to sometimes offer some extra commentary, although some making comments about things that seem like they'd be true all the time, but change when you change the size and style of vehicle, in the hopes that it will reach people that are there for more than just your standard passenger vehicle. I know Commander is also a truck driver, and they said they were heading somewhere into the Midwest today, I think. So I don't know if Commander's stuck in a snowstorm. The snow has been really gentle to us here. We had a bit of a freezing rainstorm. I'm hoping my signal's good enough that this is actually coming out. Um, I have a feeling it's going to deteriorate a lot in a short time, but it'll come back. So I'm really hopeful that this will work well, um, but I'm not 100% certain. Living in a rural area means that there's gaps in mobile signal, and I also live in a very hilly area where there's a lot of the hills are basically, because of there's so many valleys from rivers and streams. Because up here we're kind of in a midpoint of headwaters that run into Lake Erie, and if I go a little bit further east, the watershed's heading into Lake Ontario. Just from where I'm at, but a lot where I'm at now, everything collects, including in my own backyard. It collects and heads into Lake Erie. So it's it makes for very interesting terrain. There's a lot of cool little places to go on hikes around here, which I enjoy. Um, and I'm gonna take a slightly different route. It's gonna take me an extra 5 minutes, taking a slightly different route to where I'm going to try and maintain a signal. I'm hoping that will work out well. Um, as I just realized, I was going to head into a valley so deep. Nobody has signal from anywhere. I'm not even sure if landlines work down there. So I've managed to, I think, make the house clean enough that people can get something done. Although I do have my doubts that I've done a good enough job. But I did manage to get some laundry sorted out, and I managed to get some dishes done, some counters wiped down, and I think if I get back to the house, I'll be able to do some more great work on tidying things up. So I'm interested in where people are around the world, what's going on weather-wise, because we have light snow. For the Americans, I think we got maybe half an inch of snow. For the rest of the world, I think we got just under a centimeter of snow, um, somewhere in that ballpark overnight. And I'm really curious if I'm actually connected, because I don't see a lot of stuff going on. But it says I am, and it says I have a signal. So let's see what's going on. I'm coming up on a red light. I may get into the chat and see, but I haven't seen the chat growing. So maybe people got tired of this nonsense. So I think I've learned a lesson though, that I cannot do a transition from Wi-Fi at home to mobile in the truck unencumbered. I just saw a couple of new chat lines jump in there, and I'm gonna take that as a good sign. And there is PC is back. Pragmatic Crystal. I've always meant to ask Pragmatic Crystal whether, and I maybe I have asked this, but I don't remember if Pragmatic Crystal is someone whose name is Crystal, because I've known a few people named Crystal, or whether they just like crystals. And pragmatism, I think, works well in a lot of instances. So the pragmatic part I get. I think being pragmatic is often the best way to get something done. So I'll have to go back and read the chat and see if I'm getting answers to these questions. And I'm sorry if they're repetitive. I sometimes feel like I should be making like notes in a notebook about everything that's going on and where people are and what they do and everything. And the more I get to know people, the more I remember. But I also sometimes forget um, uh, little details. And then on the chats, there's some people you see regularly, but you don't talk about yourselves. You talk about the topics people are going on about. So I was thinking about, before I realized I had so many errands to do today, I was going to go down into the basement and do a video and do like another educational style video about something, because I was struck by last night's video on Dapper Dino's channel where our buddy Vandy, Dr. Tap was there, and Dapper was there, and they were having a chat with a gentleman named Michael. And Michael, a lot of people were mad at Michael for like his facial expressions and stuff, and I think that's not necessarily fair, because not everybody has the right facial expression all the time. People do read people's expressions and whatnot, and that's cool. But Michael came with a lot of Flurf 101 to that, and I know our buddy Dr. Tap is a big fan of debunking, but also thinking. And I think I said in one of my streams this week that Dr. Tap and I had a conversation about understanding the mindset of somebody who's incredulous about something, and that we need to remember how strongly held some of people's convictions are. But I got the distinct impression last night that Michael did not have deeply held